that, Steve. Happy to do that. So I'm going to give you guys what we call the packet presentation. I'm going to work in hypotheticals, okay? So that because it works differently for each vertical, for each company, okay? So I'm just going to use some basic hypotheticals, and I'm going to pick a company that I know everybody knows, Chewy, okay? We're going to use Chewy's for today's example. So everybody knows who Chewy is and what they do, okay? But I'd ask the audience to just kind of set that aside for a minute. And I want us to think more about how Chewy is actually structured as a business, okay? They have two distinct portfolios. On the one hand, they have 24 million plus consumers who buy pet products and services from their platform. On the other, they have thousands of vendors who sell those pet products and services, okay? Two important things to note about those portfolios. First, they're relational. They're in regular contact with these folks, okay? Right. Two, they're symbiotic. They rely on one another to the extent in Chewy's case that Chewy doesn't exist one without the other, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, one thing to note before I get into the presentation, the real heartbeat of this program, okay, the real core of it, and the thing that is intriguing to all these companies that we've talked to are three things. First, it's patented technology. Second, it's patented process. And third, it's first-party data acquisition, okay? Those are the three reasons we believe, by the way. We have yet to give this packet presentation to an organization and have them tell us no. Nobody's told us no, that it's not for them, okay? So now you thought about how Chewy's structured. So when Chewy rolls out a beta program, they're going to announce to their consumers, there's a new free perk. And that free perk is, just for being a Chewy customer, they can upload, order, print, and have shipped to their home all of their photos for free. No credit card required, no shipping and handling, no fine print, no upgrading the membership. Just as a simple thank you for being a Chewy customer, you can now upload and print all your photos on us. Now, packet sponsors are the clients that we have, that's what we call them, and this is Chewy in this example, get three core business lifts, and I'm going to explain them as we go here. The first is on the consumer side. I'm going to use my wife as an example because she allows me to. She's a Chewy customer, okay? I know that for two reasons. One, I pay the bills. Two, I get stuck picking those heavy boxes up off the front porch that weigh more than my Labradoodle. When she finds out she can print her photos for free, she's going to tell her friends or family or colleagues, anyone who will listen, look what I can do because I'm a Chewy customer. And Chewy's banking on it. In fact, they're convinced that the vast majority of their consumer population will do something similar. So there's an anticipation of an organic inbound flux of consumers to use their core products because of the free perk. That's business lift number one. Business lift number two is on the vendor side, okay? They're going to go to their vendors and any new vendors and tell them we have a new program. And the narrative goes something like this, guys. Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, we know because you sell through our platform, you're currently only selling, and I'm making up a number now, remember hypotheticals, 17% of our consumer population. How would you like to advertise directly to the other 83% for 75 cents an ad? What does that do for Chewy over here in business lift number two? Two important things. First is it allows Chewy to monetize this vendor population in a way they can't do without our partnership. Two, and we believe more importantly, it changes what we call the net new vendor acquisition narrative. Here's what I mean. Before our partnership, they tell new vendors, hey, you should put your products and services on our platform because we're the almighty Chewy. Now they're able to say, you should put your products and services on our platform because we're the almighty Chewy, and we have a program that will directly help you grow your business. So up goes the vendor population and up goes sales, okay? Now, when the consumers order their photos, they come in a packet that looks like this, okay? Except it's white labeled. Chewy, US Bank, AAA, whoever the packet sponsor is, this is their canvas, their packet, okay? What the consumers are waiting on are these photos right here, okay? Now, important point to note here, because the consumer has willingly uploaded, ordered, printed, and asked to have shipped their photos, they're waiting on their photos, which means we get a 100% open rate, 100% open rate on our packets. I want you to compare that to what most marketers know as direct mail. 1 to 3% efficacy rate on a good day, 100% efficacy rate, okay? Attached to each photo is a double-sided glossy ad that looks like this, okay? And all the consumer has to do is this. And this picture is ready to put up on the fridge or send off to grandma, and they are tactile touching every ad and every packet. Because of this patented process right here, we get a 100% visibility rate on every ad. Now, I'm going to go back to that vendor conversation for just a second. When Chewy tells their vendors they've got a new program, they're not saying, hey, guys, we're going to slip a few more coupons in the box or feature you in some e-newsletter. They're saying the program we're going to put you in has a 100% open rate and a 100% visibility rate. Pretty easy conversation to have with a business that's trying to grow, right? Yeah. So the third and most important business lift. When the consumers upload these photos, the patented technology that we have extracts every data point from the photo. I'm a white male, I'm a family of 4, I went to Ohio State, I smoke cigars, I have a Labradoodle, I go to the beach, fill in the blank. Now, I want you to think about 1 year in a person's life, just one. Couple of family birthdays, couple of holidays, couple of vacations if they're lucky, and maybe even a milestone event, a birth, a baptism, a wedding, an anniversary, what you name it. What are all those things? Picture taking opportunities in different places with different people at different times of the year. So the third and most important business lift is we are able to enrich Chewy's data in a way they can't possibly do without us. Okay. Now, long-term, obviously that makes them more valuable, but short-term, it does 2 important things. First is it allows them to serve their consumer population better. An example, they may look at 90 days worth of the data we give them and go, wow, 40% of our dog owners go to the beach for vacation. We don't have very many dog beach toy vendors in our population. We should get some more of those because that stuff will probably sell. Second, and more importantly, they're not telling their vendors it's just 100% open rate and just 100% visibility rate, as if it's a just. They're also saying over time, we know which ad to put with which household to up the propensity they're going to act upon this ad because of the data we've gleaned from the photos. Okay, so those 3 core business lifts. Now remember, guys, it's their core business we're impacting. Increased consumers, increased vendor and sales, and data enrichment unlike which anybody's ever seen, okay, is the reason nobody tells us no, okay, or at least nobody has yet. However, we wanted to make sure that there were 0 barriers to entry, okay? And we have actually 2 models to be a packet sponsor. We'll talk about that at the end. I'm going to use one of them right now, okay? So if you show somebody something new, nice, shiny, neat, what's the first question out of their mouth?
Cost.
What's it cost?
Cost, yeah.
Exactly, okay? So we decided in one model that we're not going to sell the service. We're going to give it away. There's 0 marketing budget required. Instead, we're going to compensate our packet sponsors for being our partner. Here's how that works. There are 20 photos in every packet, no more, no less, okay? And we don't care, guys, if it's the same 20. Okay, people use these for postcards, Christmas cards, whatever, okay? It means there's 40 surfaces on which to advertise in the packet. At 75 cents a surface, it means this is a $30 packet when it's all done, paid for by the advertisers. Now, again, I have to speak in hypotheticals, so I can't give you the real numbers, but let's map out a beta test. Let's assume Chewy's beta test is for 100,000 packets a month, okay? Now, that seems like a great big beta test, but if you compare it to 24 million plus consumers, it's very small, very prudent, okay? And let's assume that their revenue share, based on the numbers they were able to commit to us, was $2 a packet. If all Chewy ever did in their first year with us is the 100,000 packets a month, we would put $2.4 million to their bottom line, net new revenue, okay? Wow. Now, let's get real about adoption rates, okay, for a second. During the years we were in research and development, we were tracking photos, okay? In 2022, in the United States alone, 1.2 trillion pictures were taken on some device. Here's a more staggering number. Of those, 40 billion with a B were printed and paid for. Largest demographic doing that? Millennials. Now I want you to imagine, guys, we enter in a consumer's 4 favorite letters on the planet. F R-E-E. The photos are free. Okay. So now I want you to think about adoption rates that are more real. 5% of their population, 10%. We know it's going to be well over 50, but we don't ever make that claim, right? We let the population tell us. But now you're talking about millions of packets a month going out, millions of dollars of net new revenue coming in, right? All for being a packet sponsor. Now, full transparency, and this is the last piece. There is an ask, okay? In each model, there's an ask. And here's the ask. We need two things from our packet sponsors. We need time and we need talent. Here's what I mean. We need internal champions on their side to help us communicate to the consumers in the same ways they already do that there's a new free perk, email, text, chat, newsletter, whatever it is they do. And we need help communicating to all their vendors and future vendors in the same ways they already do that there's a new program with 100% efficacy rate. That's it.